I remember the way the preacher took his time and smiled to condemn James Harrell, whose half-century-old heart had failed him for the first time a few days before. James was lying in the soft dirt a few miles from the pulpit, where the preacher was glowing. But I remember the preacher spitting to the congregation James's eulogy like, James Harrell was the original black magic in our church, a gangster. He transformed Asians into the Orientals, Italians into the Guineas, Latinos into the Spics. James transformed the men he met into cats. You remember, congregation, James Harrell was sinning on Sundays here, handsome like a devil. James was in his 50s, but his face was unlined. Congregation, it was unlined even in church, thinking of his sins. James was a Dorian Gray between these black and white pews. But the preacher forgot. The women in flowered hats were gawking at James's immortality, silently cursing him for their own sagging spots. It's true, though, James Harrell did not give a fuck. As a preacher, I cannot praise him. No preacher will praise him. No preacher will praise a practitioner of original black magic, which is really just to say the magic of being an original black gangster. I am no preacher. I am in no house of God, but my name is Mercy, and I can properly bless James with my words, because he was my father. Let me take you all back. I am 13, crying in the corner as I watch the handing over of money in the kitchen. James Harrell takes the 50 he usually gives to my mother, gives it to me, takes the usual, hello, little girl, and gives me, hello, my dear. No more absent smiles, he gives me his eyes. I am this pitifully small brown offspring of the heroin-laced white woman he does business with. Suddenly, he starts taking me out of the apartment on Sundays. A girl deserves a father figure in this mess, he says to my mother. She sniffs, wipes blood off her nose onto the napkin. She has no choice. James Harrell doesn't really have arguments, but he really is like Moses, smoothly commanding drug-addicted mothers to let their children go. Make Sunday the day to erase the other 6, and you know what? He did. Driving with him in his black Rolls Royce, James Harrell taught me how to make my mother's needles small inside my head, how to tell when someone was lying to me, how to never cry, how to count $20 bills quicker, get my food quicker, get respect from men quicker, how to talk proper with the right white people. I'm pretty good at that now, I might say. He gave me wisdoms, like a monkey can't sell bananas. I did not understand that one in the context of money and drugs and death, but still, in those moments in the car, I thanked God for the miracle of James's goodness. He might have taken someone's testicles an hour before, a lighter to a man's eyes, but I know he was the gentlest of fathers on Sunday. He was the father I had dreamed, prayed for. The breeze as the engine roared, all that was my life before was made small. And yes, I know the preacher would want me to finish this blessing, this eulogy, with another part of the truth. That James Harrell was the man who supplied my white mother with cocaine and accepted her payment in pussy. That these summer months were a way to relive the guilt that James Harrell felt when he looked into my fearful, innocent, open face. But I can tell you, because you are not the congregation, that in those summer months I was grateful to have the love of the sinner. To have that love at all. It was love, I promise. Sometimes you could drive 2 hours with James Harrell without speaking. And when he began the smooth, slow waltz of his gangster dialect, you began to feel whatever you said in response would be weighed by a judge whose significance was comparable only to that of God. He made you feel divine, untouched, the daughter of a God. He'd ask you, what do you think of that cat, Mercy? He said, what do you think of that cat? And you would work hard to think of something intelligent and wise to speak out of your lips, and it would come and he would nod and take in his cigar and take in you, exhale the smoke, and then he nods again. He says to you, Mercy, I need more people like you. And I can tell you my whole body at 13 was smiling when he said that. My whole body at 19 is smiling in remembrance. So James Harrell saved Mercy's soul on Sunday. And that is enough for me to forgive it all.